And again, welcome everybody to our December Assessment Committee meeting, the last one of this calendar year. So thank you all for being here. I know it's a crazy, crazy busy time. I'm going to put the link to the chat in the agenda, in the chat. So there it is if you want to follow along. We have just a couple of things on our agenda today. The first thing I wanted to do was ask our assessment fellows, the ones who are here, to check in and let us know, are all of your program leads on track to complete program assessment? Are there any issues? Is there anyone that you need me or Christine to reach out to provide some extra support? What do you think?
VHS is on track.
Fantastic. Thank you, Riel. Okay, who'd like to go next? Liz, how are you doing with CFAS?
Good. I have one faculty member I haven't heard much from, but I'm checking in with them. So the others have attended the meetings and as far as I know, are on track.
Okay, how is Noah doing with rebuilding his program assessment plan? Because again, he was going from music business to music, the fine arts degree. And I was just a little worried because there is so much in that program.
Marianne, he and I have not gotten together on that. I know he intended to do that, but we haven't had that meeting. So I honestly don't know where he is with that.
Do you want me to reach out to him, Liz?
Sure,
or
that'd be great. Yeah, okay. If you
will do.
That might I know he was planning on and maybe did talk with you and Christine, but he and I haven't connected.
No, he hasn't. I was just concerned because, as you know, that fine arts degree is like 2 degrees in one, because they have to do all of the academic stuff and then they have all the performance stuff on top. So I was just concerned that that might be a bit overwhelming, but he's essentially, they're not offering any of the music business courses anymore. So we're not officially putting some of our programs on moratorium, but we're kind of de facto putting them on moratorium by just not offering the classes. So I guess I just want to make sure we have some continuity going forward. You know, if we had music something in the spring, we want to have music something in the fall. I don't know that the HLC is going to be too concerned about what exactly the program is, as long as we're doing assessment in all the areas. So yeah, we can reach out.
In any case, he has to, the bottom line is he has to update his assessment plan one way or another.
Right, because again, we're not offering the music business stuff anymore, and he's not the only one in that situation. So yeah, but I was just concerned because I know that plan is kind of huge. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
How about you, Carl?
Sorry I'm late, guys.
Hey, Richard. Carl, you still there? I can't see you.
I'm here. Math, science, and engineering. I got confirmation a while back that math is fine. Everything's moving forward with that. Biochemistry, I did hear back from them finally, and they have everything as they said they were going to. Physics, there was some changes that occurred, not necessarily with the schedule, but with who was actually going to be doing it. And I got confirmation that they are going to move forward with that. And then on the engineering side,
is that Terry?
Say again?
Is that Terry, Carl, who's going to do the physics?
So he is going to gather the information that is needed for it. However, Dr. Levy said that she would be the one who would do the write-up for it.
Okay. I will reach out to Jackie. Okay. So Terry is going to gather the info. Jackie will write it up. We'll reach out to Jackie. Christine and I will.
Okay. And then
because again,
engineering, I have all the data. I just haven't written them up. And that is actually on today's schedule to start doing that. But I have everything. I'll collect the last of it from this semester next week. And then there will be a change moving forward next semester. The classes will still record the data for them. However, I actually won't be teaching the one that it's going to be collected from. Our new engineering faculty got onboarded officially last night. So
Wow, that's fantastic.
he'll be
That's
teaching one
great.
section, and then Vivian, our adjunct instructor, will be teaching the other section.
Excellent. That's actually harder, Carl, when you're when you're not teaching the course yourself, but
I
you
know.
have to kind of oversee. So again,
It's okay.
we'll make sure they're up to speed and all, and whatever they need,
Yes.
we'll make sure they have.
Yeah. Fortunately, Vivian has already collected data for me in another class, so she already knows what that is. And our new faculty, his name's Danny, and we'll have
Yes.
him do that as well.
Okay, thank you, Carl. Okay. All righty. So Jessica, how about you? How's LA doing?
I think we're on track. As far as I've talked to everyone, it sounds like things are organized and moving. I do have a
Okay.
question. I might need to follow up about because I know um one of our program leads has had a personal um
Oh,
situation, and so I don't know how much what we're gonna need to do to kind of step in or
is
help
that
with
for
that.
Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Again, we will be happy to reach out. Um, part of what Christine and I did with Spanish, the Spanish was Spanish 101 was one of the courses that was assessed this semester. And one of our dual enrollment instructors was also teaching Spanish 101. So part of what we have to do as far as the HLC is concerned is do the same exact type of program assessment in our dual enrollment classes. So with Mary's help, we developed this form for Spanish, and we kind of sent it to the instructor, and it took a while to hear back. So again, we could possibly use that same form or revise it slightly if Loida thinks that's a good idea, and we can send that out to our Spanish 101 instructors on campus. So that might help.
Yeah.
Particularly if she's dealing with personal stuff, maybe we could just step in and help her out. Okay. Sounds good, Jessica. Thanks. Hey, Richard, are you still out there? I can't see you. But how's MCL-CTL doing? Is
I am.
everything on track?
I think for the most part, I do have one person, Davy, who honestly, I don't know what's going on with her, if I'm being perfectly honest. Sonia, I have on board. I'm working with her with building rubrics. We're
Right.
finalizing them. We worked together with some versions. I kind of did some polishing of them for her, and then I sent them to her for feedback, which I haven't received yet, but I just sent that I think Wednesday. So probably give her a couple of days or over the weekend to look them over. And then the assignments pretty much are done. It's just we built the rubrics kind of after the fact. And then because it was so late in the game, we finally connected. But the important part is we connected. But I think everybody else. Oh, Aaron decided that he just couldn't do it, and he's gonna move them to next semester, which he will be involved with all four of them directly. So that's why he feels like he can do that.
Okay, that's great, Richard. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind is if folks are moving things around to other semesters,
we have to
need
move it up
updated.
in the plan. Right. Okay.
Right, we got it.
Right.
We need an
I have
updated
not
plan.
done that yet, so I will make sure that we do that next week.
Okay, so we're updating accounting. I have another question,
Yes.
if you don't mind, and that's I'm concerned about the CIS stuff. I know computer science is on track because I've been speaking with Carrie regularly. I'm concerned about the CIS stuff because I know Stephen is scheduled to retire in early January. And and he's got 4 programs.
He has finished one of them already, and he sent me the reports. And should I send that to forward that to you?
You can, yeah.
Okay. So I don't remember which one that was off the top of my head. But Niall seems to be doing okay.
Okay.
Even I don't know, to be honest with you.
Right. Again, I was just concerned because he has so many of them to do, and
Right.
I know he's preparing for retirement, which is a whole lot of other paperwork and stuff you have to handle. So again, is that worth us reaching out, or are you okay with that?
If you guys are willing to reach out, that'd be awesome. From just being honest.
All righty. Okay, reach out to Stephen. Okay. Did I miss anybody on the academic side? I don't think so. Okay. So then let's move on to co-curricular. Lucero, are you still there? I did see you out there. Okay, let me see if I can see who's still on. Um,
She's just getting her headphones on. She'll be
she's
right
getting
there.
her. She'll be right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, so for co-curricular, we have told the LC that we're only handling 2 areas because we had gotten the word from some of our HLC peer reviewers that once you tell the HLC you're assessing something, they want to see you assess it continually. So we picked honors and we picked student life because those would be the clearest, the clearest areas to draw the line to co-curricular assessment. So I reached out to Jennifer to see if honors is on track. And I was just curious how we're doing with student life. Okay. So ideally, we'd be getting student life and honors every semester. Okay. We have some hands up. Lucero, I see your hand up.
Yes, can you hear me?
I
Yes?
can hear you.
Yay! Okay, I'm so sorry. Um, I don't know what's wrong with my computer, but anyway, thank you, Marianne. Thank you, everyone. I want to thank Mary because she has helped me create a canvas where we can upload all of the information that we've been doing with student life. And I want to thank Dr. Rock because she's been assisting me in that. I have to be honest and say that I am a little bit behind. The events have been catching up to me, and it's once I'm done with one, it's on to the next one. And but I will get that. We'll work on that more. So just to share with you all, right now on Canvas, we have one assessment, which is the Your Vote, Your Power civic engagement assessment. This spring semester, I plan on having an Express Yourself event that can hit on that freedom of expression criterion that has been added with HLC. And I'm hoping that we can add in there some civic engagement as well so that I can assess that um, event and connect it with the civic engagement one of Your Vote, Your Power. And that way we can hit on both civic engagement and freedom of speech for the spring semester. I do have some summer events that I already have in data on, and I'm working on creating an analysis for summer of 24 and summer of 25 so that I can upload that in there as well. And that is another event that I plan on doing this summer again. So we have summer to summer from 24 to 26 where we will have data by the end of by September. We will have 2 events based on civic engagement and freedom of speech. And then I did also have data on our conference that we took students to Chicago last spring. I did submit a proposal for the one-time funding to take students to the East Coast to do a similar type of thing. To be honest with you all, I did not want to go back to the conference that we went to last year. And the reason why is because that conference is called the United States of Hispanic Leadership. And the truth is that it is really focused on Hispanic students. And I do not want to take students that are not Hispanic that don't feel like they can relate. I'd like to do something where all students can attend, not just Hispanic students, and feel like this is something for them too. So that is a reason why I did not select to go back to that conference, and instead try something different where we could still focus on leadership, engagement, civic engagement, all of that. So I'm still working with Dr. Scott and admin services to see if that's something that we can get approved on. I did let them know that this would be a continuation of like HLC to show like, hey, we did this one spring semester. This is what we're doing again. So hopefully that gets approved. So I am working on that. So I do have some things planned. I do have some data that I still need to analyze and complete. Just like how you helped me, Marianne, with Your Vote, Your Power. And hopefully that trip gets approved so that that's something that we could continue to work on and add as a co-curricular of learning outside of the classroom, right? And that is going to the East Coast and exposure to different parts of not only the country but also like, you know, cultures and all that. I know that with the whole DEI thing, it's kind of tricky, but that's my plans right now. My focus is only on student life. I'm not sure about the other departments, but do you all have any questions or any suggestions? I'm happy to hear them.
I have just one question, Lucero, and what is the event that you're going to be assessing this semester that you have data for?
So I'm going to be hosting the Freedom of Expression event, and that is going to be, I'm going to try and collaborate with some faculty, but it's just going to be a day where students can express themselves, whether it's through art, poetry, um, maybe it's like something that they do with engineering, whatever that looks like, dance, music, and then just have them just kind of display that. And so I plan, if I'm going to be planning meeting with Dr. Rad, because she's been assisting me on how to assess that. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of like still thinking about it. But I'm happy to accept any suggestions or recommendations as to how I can assess their learning. But I'm going to somehow incorporate it to civic engagement as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. I think a pre-post survey might be the best
Mhm.
way to go with something like that. But I guess what I was asking is, do you have data for an event in fall 2025?
I do. I have data from the student leadership retreat that we took students to Prescott. The data that I have, though, is all of district data, all of the students that attended. So I do need to um, only pull out pull out South Mountains data. So just to give you some context, 102 students attended the leadership retreat in Prescott, Arizona, and this is with 8 other colleges. 22 of our students attended. We were the largest school to attend, and we did a pre survey and a post survey of what they've learned, their leadership development, and the data is amazing. But the data that I have is all of it compiled, and so I need to pull out just South Mountains data. So I do have the data. I still need to analyze it. I have data for three events. I still need to analyze it, work it out, and then upload it onto Canvas with hopefully Mary Nunn's support.
And Lucero, as Mary is saying in the chat, if you need any help wrangling that data, you just let us know.
Okay,
My background in particular is stats. I have no problem filtering data for you if you need that help.
that
Okay.
would
I
be
understand.
amazing.
Yes, we'll touch base with you and we'll make sure you get
Okay,
your data in a form that you can analyze it. Thanks so much for doing that. That sounds
thank
like
you.
an awesome selection of events, don't you think, everybody? I think that's great.
Awesome,
Thank you,
I
thank you.
Lucero.
I do
I
want to say
really
that.
love that. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
Lucero. I really love that we are the smallest school, and Stephanie said this, and we had the largest attendance. So
This
honestly,
is it.
kudos to you, girl.
Thank you. This is the second time we have the largest attendance, by the way. Last year we took 30 students, and the ages were between 18 and 50 of our students. It was amazing. We also have the Student Public Policy Forum, which is a district-wide thing, and there's 20 3 students in the program, and we still have the largest representation. We have 5 students in the program. So we're the smallest, but we are represented throughout, which is super exciting. So thank you, I appreciate that. But going back to the data, Marianne, so the data I have is Qualtrics. I'm still learning how to use Qualtrics, but is that something that you are familiar with, or either one of you? Yes, okay, awesome. So I'll grab that data, and then
Yeah,
maybe
we can
Marianne, we
handle
can
that.
meet. Perfect, nice. Yes, that would be
We can
amazing.
do that. And just kind of, and I see you, Stephanie, no worries. I just want to make one point is, if we don't get all of the assessment write-ups by December 19th, that's okay. We know that a lot of folks are doing a final project or a final paper or final exam. We just need it by the beginning of spring. Okay. So
Okay,
please don't stress. And we don't want you doing this on Christmas Eve either. Okay. So there's a
okay.
little bit of slosh in the schedule. Just remember that our administration constantly checks in with us to find out, are you on track? So we want just some stuff to tell them that yes. Stephanie, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I must say I love that word slosh that you just used, but just quickly fast, I wanted to say to Lucero, librarians are all about freedom of expression. So, keep us in mind. It sounds like if you like that we could help with that.
Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Scott hosts the annual State of Student Affairs, and so I plan on presenting about it then, and I am going to open it up to see if anybody wants to collaborate. I hope storytelling, is one of them. It's too. There's just any way that students want to express themselves. They can tell a story, a poem, share about a book that represents them, anything. We're open to anything, and I think that's just the best way to show that, like, hey, we're being open with our students as to how they express themselves. We are all just listening, we're open-minded, and it can be done in any way, right? So those are my thoughts. I'll share with you all more later, and I really appreciate the support and the kudos. It's been a long year, but it's been also very rewarding, so thank you.
Thank you for all your efforts, Lucero. There's a reason our students are well represented. I think I'm looking at her. Does anybody else have anything to say about program assessment before we briefly move on to program review?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Carl.
So this is for Marianne, Christine, and Mary, not Lucero, but it's related to what she said. Why is HLC requiring that we have to do an assessment of co-curricular stuff like civic engagement and freedom of speech? I think of HLC as being an academic thing, and so I'm asking because I don't understand the link.
HLC refers to co-curricular assessment as what's called an assumed practice. So what that means is it's not something that they have specifically in their criteria, but because it's an assumed practice, they can ask us about it at any time. And
So
the
they could do
idea
this for
is,
student clubs and stuff?
well, they could conceivably, but the way we wrote our fall mid-cycle report, the one that we revised in November last year, we specifically said that at South Mountain, we consider honors and student life co-curricular areas, and they have co-curricular program outcomes. And so those are the ones we said that we would assess every semester as part of our assumed practice.
So it's the fact that it's an honors program is what is
Right.
making it susceptible to being reviewed.
Right. And it's
Okay.
partly because both student life and honors help reinforce outside of the classroom concepts that are taught in the classroom. As Lucero said, civic engagement, honors pretty much covers the whole gamut because students take honors courses, do honors projects and whatnot. So we
Okay. I
thought
understand.
those would be the easiest ones to draw parallels with.
Okay.
Certainly all of our student affairs areas, inform our programs. We're not saying that. We're just saying from the point of view of laying out data and analyses for the HLC, we wanted to make it as easy as we could on ourselves. So we picked the two most obvious areas.
So it could be a student club if we were to, like, for example, an engineering club, if we were to say that this reinforces what the students learn in their engineering courses.
We could conceivably
Okay,
do that, yes.
I understand. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, hearing no other commentary, um, I realize we're running a little bit long, so I'm going to shorten things a bit. All right. We pretty much have a link to a revised program review template coming up this spring. Is CFAS and BHS program review. Okay, your first drafts are due, I think, right before spring break, which is around March 15th, and the final drafts are due in May. I wanted to point out that we've slightly updated the template you're using, and I'm going to try to share that with you and hopefully don't break anything. What do I want to share?
Marianne, do you want me to grab the link from that document and put it in the chat?
I have it. Yeah, I just want to show them what I have here. Okay, can everybody see what I'm sharing? Okay, so this is the program review template that you all know and love, with the green and the yellow highlighting that gives Summer a migraine when she looks at it. We're going to probably, at the end of this coming cycle, which ends in May of 2026, we're probably going to revise the template and put it through shared governance, have you all take a look at it, and start our next cycle with a slightly revised template. And here's the reason why. I've gotten some feedback from the program review board. Okay, and these are essentially the vice presidents and faculty senate president and any external reviewers Dr. Murillo has managed to find, who read all your program reviews and provide recommendations on them. And the comment we got back was they're still not consistent. In other words, the commentary was maybe the template needs to be revised, basically, in order to handle their commentary. Their commentary was about not connecting the data to your analysis. Okay, so if you take a look at the screen I've got right here, all right, there's one section towards the end where it says summary and critical analysis. I've kind of put in some more prompts in here where it says what are your specific plans for changing your program? What data are you using to make the requests? What trends do you see that justify your requests? What conclusions are you drawing? Okay. When HLC pulls a program review, and they pull them at random, it's not like we get to pick the ones that they see. Okay. They don't just want to see a data dump. They want to see that you actually looked at the data and made some inferences from the data that apply to your program. If you need help doing this, you're welcome to reach out to Christine and me, or even our new institutional effectiveness area. We can connect you with Crystal Thieker and her analysts, all right, and we can help you do this. We realize not everyone has experience doing this, okay, but it's important that it is in your program review. Because again, the commentary we're hearing back from the program review board is that some of the program reviews do a real good job of referring back to their data and making drawing conclusions from that data, and others kind of just leave the data there in a pile and let you interpret it, and that's kind of like not okay. All right, so that's part of the reason why we've updated this template. So what Christine and I plan to do in the spring is reach out to CFAS and BHS and kind of set up meetings with you to kind of sit down and show you the template as well as where to find the data. Institutional effectiveness has built us some new dashboards. So now we have better data than what we had in the past. Okay. Anybody got comments or questions about this?
I think
Anybody?
from the back end, Marianne, I would like to look at how we can make sure that the program assessment, especially in phase 3, how those processes will then align and jump into the program review and make sure all that information is aligned and in alignment, and we have a clear understanding and expectation and models of what it looks like and how to do it and things like that. So I can definitely help support on the back end and that way. That way there's just that transparency and clarity between everything.
Sounds good, Mary. Basically, what's been happening now is the same person, the lead, who's handling program assessment for the program, is the person who's writing the program review. And there's a section in the program review that is literally titled Program Assessment. Okay, and that's where, the directions say, summarize the results of the last few semesters, actually 3 years worth of your program assessment. What have you learned from it? That sort of thing. Program assessment is only one small component of program review. If you think about it, program assessment is how we as faculty know whether or not students are learning what we think we're teaching. It helps us improve curriculum and pedagogy and things like that. Program review is more about the viability of the program. Are we spending resources in an efficient way? Do we need more resources to make this program viable? And we consider things like enrollment, completion, transfer rates, and to a lesser degree, the program assessment data. Okay, so again, I just wanted to make sure everybody's clear about the difference between program review and program assessment. Anybody got comments about that? Thanks for sharing that resource, Liz.
I have a question in thinking about program review. How much, I guess, collaboration is within this space of program review and communication? Like, how much of that falls on the chairs? Because I think sometimes I guess I just don't want the program leads to feel as if they're in a silo. And since we are working to change the culture of assessment and really talk about assessment as a team, as a collective, how much of the chairs are involved in this process?
I do think that chairs definitely need to be involved, and I think they're involved to different degrees currently. We're trying to
Right.
make some changes to that program review template. One of them is to basically require that the chairs sign off on it. So hopefully that would be indicative of them having read it at least, because I think as a program lead, I would need my chair, and I'm not the program lead for math, but if I were, I would need my chair's input to understand, where the division action planning is with regards to my program, what resources are reasonable to request, that sort of thing. There should definitely be a dialogue between the leads and the chair. And again,
would it be beneficial if we did in fact include a section within the document that actually showed that collaboration between the chair and the faculty and the program lead, just as a means of building out that relationship and that practice and that process? Oh, Marianne, you're so sick.
We could enhance it. Like I said, in the spring, we're going to be working on a totally new program review template for our next program review cycle. So pretty much all of you will have input into it. And if you can think of a concise way to put that in, that the template itself is about 9 pages long, which is kind of long for most program reviews. But you realize a lot of that yellow highlighted stuff is directions. And the idea is you're supposed to remove the directions once you follow them and then replace the green highlighted stuff with your content. And again, as long as we don't make it too long, too complicated, yes, I'm fine with adding sections as long as it provides the information that we need in order to evaluate the program. And I do think the chairs need to be on board with this. Absolutely.
Yep.
Comments, anybody?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Carl.
You mentioned the upgrades that were done for the data access. Is that Tableau?
All of the data is in Tableau because that's what
Okay.
institutional effectiveness uses.
Okay,
Yes.
so then I do have two questions. First, when it comes to accessing the data, I've been working with Dana Frasca about getting some information about courses that are coming in the spring. However, I don't have access to it because I am not the instructor of record. So I'm having to rely on her to get the data for me. Is there a way that if you're the program lead that we can get access to that data?
Yeah,
Second,
basically,
okay.
you can make an institutional effectiveness request, and we can talk about that offline.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
Second question is, and this has to do with program review, program assessment. I think I've asked this before, but I don't remember the answer. What is the difference between completion rate and success rate?
Okay, completion rate, and this is kind of weird because people refer to it differently. I know one of the problems we have, and I'm learning this by collaborating with Summer, who's writing our notice report, and she's bringing like a fresh set of eyes to all of the jargon. And a completion rate, a lot of folks, because of the way the data has been historically presented in Tableau, think of this as course completion rate. In other words, how many students make it to the end, whether or not they're successful or not. So that's everybody who didn't withdraw. Okay. A program completion is how many students actually wind up with a credential. Okay. And to be honest, that's what HLC is interested in, is the program completion rate. Okay. We've kind of been stuck with course completion because of the limitations of our data, but now we have better data. Okay. So we can take our analysis up a level. Success, okay, in the course context is anybody who got better than C or better in the course. So they passed it and they can use it as a prerequisite for something else.
So success then, so it still allows those who get a D. Well, I guess it doesn't. Success then, because isn't a D a passing grade, although it's not transferable?
D is a passing grade, but you can't use it as a prereq. So I don't think D is
Right.
considered a successful completion in Maricopa.
What about within career and technical education?
That's a very good question. That's worth asking.
Within the academic side, I can see why, but I don't see the point of it in CTE then. So that's
Yeah.
why I asked. Okay,
My
thank you.
concern was that if it was the last course in a sequence, you could conceivably pass it with a D because you
Yep.
weren't going to need it for a prereq.
Yep.
But is that really what we want to be doing? You know, so
Okay.
again, I can look that up, Carl, and find that out.
Well,
for
I
you.
just wanted to make sure that I understood because doing the review, I want to make sure that I represent it correctly.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Well, if no one objects, so I don't cut into Mary's time too much, I'm going to skip the section on the information from the district assessment committee. That is there in the agenda that you're welcome to read. Okay, this is a meeting of all 10 colleges assessment committee chairs, if you will, and we meet once a month. And I'll let you take a look at what we've been up to in those meetings. But at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Mary for the remainder of the meeting. She wants to talk about training, assessment training opportunities and support for spring. Mary, are you there? Okay. It's possible she had to step away for a minute. I can briefly tell you a little bit about this district assessment committee stuff. Okay, the most interesting things that have been happening is a district program review work group. Now, this is a group that's being headed by VPAAs from Mesa and I believe from Phoenix College. And there's representation from the district assessment committee on it. And the VPAs at all the colleges have been asked to upload their program review templates to a particular Google folder. And this group is going to make some recommendations as to a district-wide common backbone for what should be in a program review. So it's quite possible if this group gets moving quickly in the spring, we may not even need to rewrite our own template. They may give us the core of the template and then we can add to it. But the idea is kind of like getting a shell course from a program lead is you don't want to take stuff out, but you're more than welcome to customize it and add things to it. Okay, so that's pretty exciting. We've been asking for quite a while for some support at the district level on program review, at very least a common template. Okay, the other thing that's really interesting is this Aspen unlocking opportunity. 3 of our community colleges, Paradise Valley, Gateway, and Chandler Gilbert, are involved with this. And the idea is to focus on career and transfer opportunities for students that yield a job that pays a living wage. And this is primarily for the career and technical, like workforce programs, not the academic side. And the whole idea is how can we use the information to support students' transitions to career or additional education that will actually let them earn a living wage. Okay, there's a link in the minutes in the agenda to an MIT calculator that shows you how they determine a low, medium, or high wage, that you could support yourself and possibly your family on. So anyway, that's kind of what we're working on in the spring. We're planning on talking primarily about general education assessment, which is another thing the HLC is really interested in. We've written our first general ed program review this semester, which has been reviewed by the program review board. So we're expecting some feedback on that. But they're also interested in how are you assessing gen ed? Right now, we're using our institutional learning outcome assessment as a proxy for general education assessment, right? The things like critical thinking, oral communication, written communication, quantitative literacy, those things. Those are your gen ed outcomes. And so we're going to try to flesh that out in the spring. There's also in the agenda a link of a whole bunch of assessment conferences that are coming up in case you have professional growth funds to burn and are looking for something to go to. Okay, so I'll check. Mary, are you on? Okay. Again,
I
I
am.
know
My
Mary was
apologies.
gonna, there you are,
Yes.
Mary. No worries, I know stuff happens. I was gonna give you the last 10 minutes to talk about attendees at assessment training and support for spring.
Excellent.
So take it away.
Thank you. So, just to let you all know, I have actually submitted with Christine's support. So thank you, Christine, for your support in this process and nudging me to do this. And Liz is aware of this as well. I'm actually going to be presenting at the Assess Arizona session about this innovative approach of blending basically business, corporate style, industry style project management with higher education. It is not something that has been done before. And so it has been very much like, oh, you're in education, we don't do those things. Well, I don't care. I'm going to try and do it, and I'm going to figure a way out to do it. So I, as you know, have been working closely with the assessment fellows, and I cannot say thank you enough to all the assessment fellows. You have been instrumental in building out this process along with Marianne and Christine at the helm. So with that, I am going to be presenting on the good work that we are doing and how we can really change culture within higher education to basically focus on using project management strategies and processes in the not-for-profit higher education realm. Of course, this has been done in the for-profit, but it always comes down to the bottom line of, am I going to make money or not? So we are not here to make money. We are here for culture change and for our students and our community. So I will be presenting on this, and I'll be working also with Liz in this process. So I'm very excited to help be able to tell the story of what we are doing and how this good work is transforming the culture of teaching and learning and meeting the assessment, I guess, accreditation requirements. So that is coming up. And I might reach out to you and ask you for some feedback in that process. As far as attendees and assessment training opportunities, I've had a number of faculty program leads come. There are literally a handful of program leads who have not attended any of the phase 3 workshops. And so that, we also need our division chairs to come to these meetings as well, or these workshops as well, because as Marianne said, when we're talking about program review, we really want to change the culture of how we do assessment on our campus, and everybody needs to be part of these discussions, and they need to participate in the workshops. Once we have this all outlined and it has become a normalized part of our culture, then what we can do is build something really great. I will say we have had so many different adjuncts come to the instructor support workshops, and they have been very receptive, and they are very excited about this opportunity to collaborate and support our institution, our students, and the programs. And so I am very thankful for them in that process. This was a very hard lift at the end of the semester. And so my goal next semester is to redesign how we will roll out the support for all of the different groups that are involved with assessment at the campus, right? So that is end-to-end spectrum. And so that is the instructors, the program leads, the assessment fellows, the chairs, and then obviously us, the assessment team, and then obviously the ALO, right? The stakeholders. And so when next semester, I'm going to kind of reframe things where my goal is to work with the program leads one-on-one to help them organize and set up all of their content in a way that is tailored directly to their needs. In addition, I will be providing very specific workshops around rubric design, course creation, looking at backwards design and how that can be used as a tool of ensuring that we are using PLOs, ILOs, and CSLOs in very specific assignments. This will also help with the evidence with HLC and the fact that when you have that matrix of backwards design, we can see how our curriculum is aligning with each of the different courses within the program matrix. So we want to be able to have that transparency and that evidence to show. It also, again, helps the division chairs understand what it is that their program needs and how we can basically support them and support the program leads and the instructors and the courses that are being designed. It allows for determining budget and staffing. So my goal is to really start to lay out all of that with the help of our assessment fellows, and then we'll see what happens after that. So the trainings are going to be more extensive, but I will say I'm really proud of the fact that we had so many people interested in coming to these sessions, these workshops, and I'm intentionally calling them workshops because I make people work. I don't like the fire hosing trainings. I think that they're a waste of pretty much everybody's time. We all know we feel that way, but I'm bold enough to say it, so I will. So here, I want all of my workshops are true workshops. People work and they are able to practice what I am asking them to do. And so the socialization of this new process, this reimagined process, has, I think, been really successful. And I'm really proud of all of us and the collaboration and the dedication to this new process to really show all of the good work that we do actually do. And so that's all I have for assessment as far as what's happening on the back end with the frameworks and everything around that, around the scope of that. Um, does anybody have any questions for me on it?
Well, thank you, Mary. I appreciate all the work you've done to make this successful. Certainly, it's been different from the way it was for the past 2 semesters, and again, it's more of a process which can be shown as evidence, which is something we're going to have to get used to as being a requirement going forward. It's not enough to say we did something; we have to demonstrate we did it, and that's what all of what Mary's created is letting us do. So, many thanks, Mary. Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Marianne. One of the points that I'm bringing up in my sessions is talking about the ethical purpose of assessment and why is that important to our students and why it's important to our community, right? And so I think when we talk about assessment, it's important to understand that aspect of assessment. Why is it ethical? And it's great, people like having the conversation about why it's ethical. And in all of my especially with my instructor focused sessions, I ask them, why is it a benefit to you and the institution? And they, everybody's like, oh, it helps me do this, it helps me do this, it helps me do that. But when I ask why is it ethical, I think this is where we haven't really thought about why we are doing it, right? Why is that important? And I align it with the analogy. If you go to a restaurant and that restaurant has a health code violation sticker on its front door, are you going to go to that restaurant? Probably not, right? We have an on notice, like basically sticker on our website. And what does that say about how we perceive our students as a collective and as an institution and who we are actually serving? And so I think it's important that people understand that it is very much our own, like, I don't want to say shame sticker, but in a way it kind of is a shame sticker, right? And so we have to talk about, we as educators in the public space, we are here to help people make a difference in their lives and for future generations. And so it is our ethical and moral responsibility as educators working in public education to provide a quality service. And so it's great when we had, those are great conversations that we have. And I like the instructors really enjoy those conversations because it's really answering the why are we really here. And I think, it's not about us, it's about our communities and keeping that in mind. And that's what student first is. So all right.
Well said,
That's my
Mary.
soapbox. That's my soapbox for my Friday soapbox session. Thank you all for coming.
I have 2 hands up. I don't know who is first. Lucero, do you want to go first?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to have it up. I just
Oh,
didn't put
okay.
it back.
Okay.
But
And then Liz.
Mary, I am so grateful for the work that you have done and the way that you have and are changing our culture and our ability to respond to these things in the way that we should. And at the same time, I just want to say I don't think we have anything to be ashamed of. We do provide a good service. We just didn't document it the way that we needed to, and now we are. So I don't feel ashamed, and I don't like thinking of my colleagues feeling ashamed. we're making the changes that we need to change, that we need to make. And we have a lot to document, and we are documenting it. So let's lean into that.
That's
and
right, Liz. That's
and not
exactly
the shame.
right. And that's why, you know, we don't, it is really about like recognizing that, you know, okay, this was our notice, literally. Like, what's our choice now? And, you know, I don't want to keep that on notice there. And I know none of us want to, but we really have to be very intentional about how we are going to move forward. And you're right. Like, I mean, you know, not that we should feel ashamed if anything happened because we chose the opposite of what we should be doing, then maybe there's some shame there. But you know, it is an opportunity for growth, and that's exactly how I explain this to our faculty, is that, you know, this is an opportunity for us to grow. An assessment is not about being punitive. It is not about saying gotcha for not doing your job. It is providing evidence and data to show us how and what we need to do to evolve ourselves to the best version of our self and institution. And so it's an opportunity for interventions and growth. And that's really how I explain assessment. So it isn't this scary, like, oh, you're watching me, you're going to like manage my classes, micromanage me, and things like that. That's not what assessment is about. Assessment is really, when you look at it from the course and the program and in the institutional level, it's about looking at what does the data tell us and where can we make strides to be better. And it's an opportunity. So assessment is an opportunity, and it's about progress, not perfection. And so I hope that people, that's what I share with all the faculty in the instructor sessions. But you know, no, we shouldn't be ashamed, but it's like, oops, okay, time to like refocus our efforts. So yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate all the great discussion. I'm happy everybody is as engaged in this process as you all are. And that is, in fact, what is going to give this legs, is the fact that we're all working together and we have a common goal. So I do appreciate that. Any last words before we end? Okay, well, I will stop recording then.